Hi viewers, today we will see how to create a calculator app using Android Studio. Mainly I'm going to use arrays and loops to do this app. This app is like a traditional calculator which do the multiplication and division first, followed by addition and subtraction. Like you see in the screen, it will multiply 3 and 4 and sum 2 and 12. We quickly jump into creating the layout first. So using buttons, I'm renaming them to numerics and operators. Let us fast forward this layout creation. This app will have two methods. One is to create the array and another one is to calculate the values present in that array. So what are the keys you are entering, it will be mapped into an array. That will be the first method. Let me create a button C to clear the values. And I'm going to use two text views. One is to show the keys entered and another one is to show the calculated value. Now let's jump into create the arrays while entering the keys. I'm creating an array list and also I'm going to create two string values named string and string1. I'm creating a method named onClick1, mapping second text to a variable. So this code is going to get all the values entered in that key. So and I'm mapping that values to a string. I'm entering some additional restrictions to enter multiple digit values. Otherwise, what will happen if you want to enter a value called 74? It will enter as 7, 4. So I don't want to do that. So just I want to bring a multiple digit values. So just I'm putting some codes to do that. So basically what it's going to do is like as soon as I enter the symbol, the entered value will mapped into an array. So for example, if I enter 7 4 plus, then 7 4 will take as a one value and plus as another value. The if conditions will check whether the entered key is the operator. So if it is not operator, it is going to concatenate the values which is entered earlier and which entered now. What I am doing is I am mapping the value as soon as the key entered. The value will be mapped to an array. So if some symbols is entered, that value will remains. If some other numerics are entered, it will going to replace the value with the concatenated value. So for example, if I enter 5 plus, then 5 will be taken. Else if I enter 5 4 plus, the first value basically 5 will have index 0. So as soon as I enter 4, that 5 will be replaced with 54. I'm using ArrayList.remove to remove the last entered key. So ArrayList.size is going to give me the length of that array, and -1 will give me the index of the last entered value. So I'm going to remove the index of last entered value and adding that current string to that array. This else part is if some symbols are entered, it's going to add that symbol directly. Since in my previous step I'm removing that one last entered value, I'm going to enter this symbol 2 times. So if I enter plus, it's going to map as plus plus. So I'm going to populate all the keyed values into text view 2, which is my upper text view in that layout. And just for the debugging purpose, I am going to map that array. So how the arrays will be populated, or how the arrays is created while entering the case. So basically I'm mapping that array to the text view 2. So this one is to clear that string value as soon as the key is, that means an operator is entered. So if I enter some operators like plus or minus, it is going to clear that string value to null, so that a new value will start to concatenate. So let me clear this one and make the text view as blank, and I'm going to map that on click one method to all the buttons. So I'm going to map this for the buttons 0 to 9, and for the operators plus, minus, multiplication and division. So once these buttons with on click one are kicked, so that method will start to run, and when the method is start to run, it will map the. Let us build the app quickly. So we will get the view. Yeah, this is the view. We'll do some keys. So here if I enter plus one time, it will map 2 times, and the last entered values will replace the last one. So in this case 24, 2 will be mapped first. Later we enter 4, 2 will be replaced with 24. So this is how I'm constructing that array. You can do any methods to build this array. Now moving to the calculation part. So for example, if I'm building that array with 3 plus 4 plus 5 into 6 minus 9, so I'm going to focus on the second operator. So if my second operator is plus or minus, it will do the calculation for the first part, first 2 digits. So this value will be mapped to that array, like 3 plus 4 is equal to 9. So sorry, there should be 7 out there. I'm wrongly entered as 9. So if my second operator is multiplication. So in this case, second and third digit will get calculated, and my second operator is minus, so first two digits will get calculated. So basically I'm going to focus on the second operator. If the second operator is plus or minus, first two digits will calculated. If my second operator is multiplication or division, then I'm going to calculate second and third digit. So at last the return value will get mapped into the text view 1. So let us move to that calculation part. So I'm using that method on click. Text view 1 is the variable I'm going to populate the calculated values, the final value. So I need that array list size. I'm mapping that in C, and my calculated value is 0. So I'm doing a while loop. If my size of that array list is not equal to 1, this loop will start to run. So what I'm going to do is, once that two digits value is calculated in that array, it is going to map in the same array, replacing that old values. So 3 plus 4 is in my array. 7 will be mapped to that same array, and 3 plus 4, 3 values will get removed. So I'm focusing on my second operator. The index of the second operator is 3. So if my size of that array is greater than 3, I'm focusing on my second operator. So if it contains multiplication or division, it will calculate the values. So I'm mapping the calculated values in the variable called CILC calc. Converting the text to integer for calculation. So index of the second digit is 2, and index of the third digit is 4. Don't worry about this, I'll put some comments near the end so you can understand that calculation part well. So copy the entire thing and do that for division. So like I told earlier, the values, that means the index 2 and index 4 value will get removed. 2, 3, 4. I want to remove the 2, 3, 4, and mapping the calculated value into the same array in the same index part. So in this case I want that value in the index position 2. Then I want to find size of the array list. So once if you do like this, the array at one point the array size will become 1. So all the values will be calculated and the array size will become 1. So that is the place where the loop will get exit and that final value will be populated in our text view. This else part is like if my index 3, that is my second operator, is not multiplication or division, so it will be like plus or minus. I'm going to calculate the values of first digit and second digit. That means index 0 and index 1. Sorry, index 2. Index 1 will be is my operator. So index 0, 1, 2 will be equal to my first digit operator and my second digit. So I'm checking whether my first operator is plus. If it is plus, then it will sum my first and second digit. Likewise, I'm doing for subtraction, multiplication, and division. So, like what we did earlier, just I'm copying that code and I'm going to replace that index value 2 to 0. So once I remove 0, index of 1 value will come into that 0 position. That means if I remove first value, my second value will become my first value. When I remove that one, my third value will become my first value. So I'm removing index 0 3 times. This is that final part. So this else part is if my array size is less than or equal to 3. I want to do the same like above. I want to calculate that first digit and second digit. Since the size is 3, there is no other way. We have to calculate first and second digit. So simply I can copy that previous code so text view 1 will set the text of calc is an integer one, so convert that to string and populate that in text view 1. So just I'm going to put some comments so that calculation will be understand easier. Example, if my array is having values, so let us consider this is the array two plus 3 into 4 minus 3. So this is my array. So what is my size of my array? It's 1 2 3 4. Since say is not equal to 1, it will enter into this loop. So size of my array is 7. Since the size is 7, it will enter this while loop, and also it is greater than 3, it will enter into this if condition. So once it enters this if condition, it will check for my second operator, which is multiplication. So obviously it will enter into my second if condition. So once it enters my second if condition, let me copy that and I'll paste it here. So it will do the calculation for my second and third digit. So my once it passes into this if array, that array, the calc value will be 12. So removing second index, that means the value is 3. So once 3 is left, my second index value is multiplication symbol now. So once I remove index 2 again, that multiplication symbol will go, and 4 will become index 2. So again I remove, that 4 will get removed. So I am removing 3 multiplication symbol and 4 and adding that calculated value in that index position 2. So my array size will get decreased by 3 digits. And it will be increased with 1 digit also. Since I'm removing 3 values, that length will become 4, and adding 1 value, the length will become 5. If my second operator is multiplication division, that same will started to run, but here it is minus, so it will enter into that else part in that while loop. While it is running second time, it will come into this else part. Since my second operator is plus or minus, I am going to calculate first 2 digits. So my calculated value, once this pass into this 4 ifs, my calculated value will become 2 plus 12. That is 14. So I'm going to remove 2, that is the index position 0. So once I remove 2, my plus will come in that index position 0. Once I remove that plus also, that 12 will come into that index position 0. So removing third time, all the 3 will get removed and add the calculated value in my index position 0. So in that second loop, your array size will get decreased again. So the array size will become 3. So it is going to enter into the next else part, which is array size is less than or equal to 3. I'm going to do the same calculation, which is going to calculate first digit and second digit. So this is the else part. C lesser than or equal to 3, and calculated value will become, it should be 14 there actually. So let me overwrite it again. So once I remove 0, 12 will get removed. It is the same step like above. Then minus will get removed. Then this array will contain only 3. Once I remove that one also, my array will become blank. So I'm adding the final value to that array. Size of my array will become 1. So it is the end of the loop. So this loop will run when c is not equal to 1. So since the c value is equal to 1, loop ends here, and that calculated value will get mapped into the text view 1. So end of the code. So just we will check here. 2 plus 12, the value is calculated value is 14 here, but I wrongly put it as 12. So yeah, there should be 14. When I'm adding 14 over there, and 14 minus 3 will be 11. So the our final value is 11. So we have another button called C, which is to clear the values. So we'll create another method to clear all the variables which we created. I'm clearing two text views and string 1 and string, and keeping my text 1 to 0, and mapping that method to C button. Also the method to calculate the values to that equal to button, that is basically on click. I'm mapping that method to equal to button, and C button will have the clear method. App build is completed, and this is the view. Let us do some calculations. Since my text view is still showing array, we will do that. We will change that to entered keys later. So if yes, our calculation is worked, so it is showing the value in my text view 1. So clear button also worked. I'm going to change that text view to, since it is showing array, I want to show that entered keys. I don't want to show the commas to the user. So since we already created it, remove the comment and make that array population as a comment, and we build that app again. Yes, it's done. The view, yeah. So now we will see the text view one. So there is no commas, and you can see only the values what we are entering, and calculation is working fine too. It's good. It's working good. Thank you.